and this is enemy tower. Or we'll do it the other way around. This is your towers. This is hard. Yours. Enemies. Okay. So there's a rule. There's a rule called the tower rule. I think it's something like that. It's something like closest tower rule, right? And pretty much, if the minion wave is closer to your tower, it's gonna when the wave sits in the lane, right? Whichever it's closest to, it's gonna push the opposite side. So let's say the minions are here, right? Let's say there's just a bunch of minions fighting here. It pushes this way because if you think about it, the next wave that comes in is gonna meet sooner. So let's say the next wave comes in, right? This is the next wave. They're gonna start attacking this, and this is gonna die faster. So this wave is gonna be bigger, and it's gonna push in to your wave because your wave is already just walking in. So it's gonna group up faster, and it's gonna hit your wave before these minions get to group and hit their wave, right? So that's one thing. You have to understand that when it's gonna push into you, when it's not. Another thing you have to do is always be looking at where your lane is. So then, let's say this is mid, right? This is the towers. If the wave is right here, you gotta see where your wave is. So then, like, let's say the wave is right here, and you're here. You don't want to push this in unless you know it's gonna crash into the tower, because if it doesn't crash in hard enough, this wave is gonna come in and stop it from hitting the tower, right? So that's gonna put you in a bad position where you have to be up at their tower and you have to push, and it's gonna be in front of their tower, and they can potentially freeze it if you don't check where your lane is. So let's say this is you. You have to look at where your wave is, and it's gonna be at the same spot where their wave is. So let's say if there's no minions coming, then you can shove in because it's gonna take a while for the enemy wave to stop your wave from pushing in. Right? Does that make sense? So knowing when to push and let's say wave is right in the middle and you want to shove it into the tower. If there's no minion waves here, if the waves just meet in the middle, you can. But if the wave is already coming up, you want to wait for that to gather here before you push it in, because the other minion wave isn't going to come in yet. Sometimes it's good to, I see Opto do this. He likes to stack up the wave really hard. So then he gets 2 waves in, right? So then let's say the wave's gonna end up pushing into him. He slow pushes. This is what Opto does. He slow pushes. That's him. And he's TF. Okay. He slow pushes and waits for 2 minion waves to gather up. So then if he gathers them up and then pushes it in afterwards, that way they have a giant wave, and then he can start roaming. And they're going to be stuck under that tower because that's a lot of minions. But that's only if you have good control in the lane. But that'll give you a lot of time to roam, because they're going to be stuck under tower trying to farm up giant wave. So that's another thing Opto does that I've noticed. And he does that on TF a lot, because TF can control the lane pretty well. But yeah, that was my little lesson.
Okay, it's Childish, Gambino, homegirl, drop it like the NASDAQ. Move white girls like this coat up my ass crack. Move black girls, cause man, fuck it, I'll do either. I love pussy, I love bitches, dude, I should be running Peter in Adidas with some short shorts. B-O-O all over me, my green.